So, welcome to another episode of Tribe Talks. So, we're here with Martin, who is one of my clients, been with me for what, 18 months-ish?
Yeah.
And yeah, we're in this beautiful studio, as you can tell. Got a nice Lamborghini behind us, a few nice cars surrounding us. But basically, just want to sit down and go, your journey so far with me and Tribe, like where was you before you started? Or do you want to introduce yourself first?
Yeah, so I'm Martin. I'm the founder of VR. So we're a specialist used car dealer. We sell very high-end, prestige, supercars, all that sort of stuff. All sort of very customer focused, all about sort of giving the very best sort of personal service. It's all very tailored, that sort of approach really. Which, I mean, this is our 12th year, so we've been going for a while. All came out of sort of an idea from when I was working in main agents. I saw sort of customer service side of it erode and wanted to try and sort of bring that forward a little bit. So in a nutshell, that's pretty much me. That's
Yeah.
pretty much what I do.
It's interesting that though, because customer service is everything. When you see a spot and something that, I don't like the way that that's done or the way that that's done,
Yeah,
that's how businesses are growing. So
absolutely.
being in business for 12 years shows that you're doing something right. 'Cause
Hopefully.
if someone's running a
Hopefully.
business, you know how hard that actually is. So
Yeah.
how did we come into contact? We actually sat on these couches at the very, very
Yeah,
start.
we did. So interestingly enough, these little couches were sort of the start of our little journey. But so I was training in the same gym. So I was training in Thellis, really good facility around the corner from us. And I'd had a personal trainer, but a sort of a one-to-one sort of physical, as it were, personal trainer, and thought I was doing great. When I sort of first started talking through to Instagram with you, I was like, I don't need you, mate. I'm good. I know everything. I know what I'm doing. I think that sort of very arrogant approach of going, everything's under control. It was only when I really started to look at what it was that I was doing, what I was eating, and sort of focusing on all that sort of stuff, which obviously you put the sort of spotlight on, that I realised the stuff that I was doing wrong. And I think the same from the business side of things. You focus on something, you improve it. I was 117 kilos, which isn't small. I go on about the fact that I had a big round moon face, which again, it's only when I look at photographs now going backwards, I realised sort of quite out of shape that I was. I thought I was in shape, but it was weird really. I thought I was doing okay, but I wasn't really,
Yeah,
which I
and
know is
then
a
you
bit
got
strange.
down to where, like 88 kilos?
80, yeah, it was actually 86 at my lowest, thanks to this.
86.
80, yeah, but so yeah, down to 86 from solely training, tightening up my training, obviously adding some different things, getting back to kickboxing, which is obviously something that I really wanted to do. I did try to get back to kickboxing when I was 117 kilos, but it was a little bit more difficult. And then food, that was the sort of biggest thing because as you know, I really love eating. I go on about it. I love eating. It's like one of my favourite things. So sort of getting that under control and changing sort of what I do. I'm getting some help at the moment from Diets to Go as well, which is superb. They're sort of sending out some meal preps which are like brilliant. They're really helpful. Everything's measured and I know everything is. So, and it's obviously easy for you to track from your side.
Yeah, it's amazing. So like, I always have all the time with people is that online coaching is a little bit of a misconception, or people go, "Oh, I don't really need that. I need more focus on that." Like, what is has your perception changed on online coaching
Yeah, I
from
mean,
what you was first to where it is now?
yeah, 100%. I mean, when I first started talking to you, and you were like, "I'm fully on," like, 'cause I was like, "Well, no, I need you
I
stood in
need
front of
someone
me.
there,
I
yeah.
need you to be, sort of moving me along that way." But as soon as I started, um, I was really skeptical. I thought, well, if I'm just getting a plan, there's all these plans online. I can pay for an app.
Exactly.
I can go to Under Armour or whoever it might be and pay for an app, and then I'm good. But the thing that I noticed really quickly, it was all about the accountability. I think one of the things that improves what we do in work is having that sort of accountability to somebody. And I think that the sort of further up the management tree you get, that's when it can get a bit more difficult. When you've got less people to keep you accountable, that's when you sort of wheels can start falling off, as
I
it were.
agree.
And I think the biggest thing for me was the simple fact that you're keeping an eye on what I'm doing. No matter where you are or where I am in the world, you can go, right, well, how's your food been? How, the weekly check-ins are great. How's this been? How's that been? And you can see what I'm eating. You can see what my training's like. And yeah, so from an online standpoint, I suppose I could live in Dubai, and it'd make absolutely no difference. I'd still have the same level of contact with you, and it would still, the process would still work, you know. And I think that was, yeah, I need this, but then I realised that I didn't really.
A lot of people are the same because obviously the industry is so vast in terms of online coaching. Like you don't even need a qualification to be an online coach, which is scary.
Yeah, I might do it.
But yeah, no, exactly. But you can go from like, you know, really low end subscription app based $9.99 right the way up to premium, whatever that what is.
Yeah,
The level of, again, there's a gap in the market. So I was personal training for 5 years, understood that the people I had online were getting better results for less money.
yeah,
And that didn't sit right. Whereas like, and that's just not down to obviously the coaching, it's down to the setup. So when you come and see me twice a week, you might get a message over the weekend, but you're not accountable to that message because you know you're going to see me on Tuesday.
yeah,
And a lot of the focus comes down to training. Whereas what I found was that I need to look into everything, the weekends, the relationships, the stress, the work, the nutrition, the training, everything under one umbrella. And the only way I can do that is physically by doing it online, where I can charge less than what a personal trainer would charge due to time for money, and I can get a greater impact. So that's the reason that, again, going back to your story, I seen a gap in service and thought, well, I'm doing a disservice to the people in the gym, so I need to change that environment.
yeah.
And that's where that sort of grown from. So fast forward now, how are you now? How are you feeling now? Where you're at now?
Yeah, I mean, it's from a sort of control standpoint. I can say to you, well, I want to cut a little bit of weight. I'm going on holiday or whatever it might be, and I sort of, because I understand the way the plan works and I understand what it is that I need to do. I just feel like I'm completely in control of it. So if I go, well, actually, Lou, I want to try and put a little bit of weight on, you'll go, right, well, we're going to adjust your calories, your macros. This is what we're going to change. The training wise, we'll do this, we'll do this, we'll do this. And I know that if I do it and stick to it, it works because I've done it. So it's a proven concept to me. So yeah, if I want to go, actually, I want to try and cut a little bit of weight off or whatever it is that I might want to do, I can speak to you and go, this is what my sort of end goal is, and I've got that trust in you, knowing that you'll go, well, yeah, if you do this, 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 and this, that's the result you'll get. It's no different to what we do in here. If I've got a sales guy who's wanting to try and achieve his targets, I can go to him with proven methods of what we've used in the past to get deals done and over the line, and sit down with them and say, well, if you do this, if you use this, if you say this, and if you do it, you'll get the result. And it's not really any different. So yeah, in terms of where I am now, if I wanted to go for a 10k run this afternoon, I could do it. Whereas I think in the past, I probably would have died, which obviously I want to try and avoid.
A few months ago, I think you texted me saying I'm never going to run, and then
Yeah.
a few months later, you were running 20k a week.
Yeah, and
50K
I
a
think
week.
I used to hate it and that sort of level of cardio because I was out of shape.
Yeah.
So it was hard. And I think now I'm at the point where if I decide to walk up Snowdon tomorrow, which is what I'm doing, because a few of my mates are doing it, there's a guy doing an amazing charity walk, I don't really even need to think about it. I don't really even need to go, oh, am I going to be all right? Am I going to, is it going to be really difficult? I know I'll just be able to go and do it. I'll know if I go to a kickboxing gym, I'll put my gloves on, I'll be able to
Get through it.
and not die, and I think, or not feel like I'm really, really out of shape and I'm puffing and blowing, and it's simply due to the fact that we've had 18 months worth of sort of solid following the process and following what I need to do to get where I am. That makes sense.
Ready for anything. That's what I say. It's more than fitness, because I was going to link that actually, because yes, you've got in shape. Yes, you've dropped loads of weight. Yes, you've got more energy in that. But what people don't understand, I don't think, is what happens outside of that. So do you think there's been like an increase in productivity, energy, how you hold yourself, situations you put yourself in?
Yeah.
Anything like that?
I think
Away from fitness.
Yeah. So I think from what I do on the daily, obviously energy levels are really important. Need to keep a team of people motivated, keep myself motivated through, good times and bad.
Yeah.
But yeah, keeping yourself motivated, I genuinely believe is a lot easier if you are in shape. But yeah, from a confidence perspective, you feel a lot better, and you stupid stuff, clothes fit you better. You just feel like you're sort of more able to take on stuff. Also as well, I think when you hit any adversity, one of my things I used to do is I'd get home from work and I'd have a drink, and one would sometimes be two would sometimes be three. Now I've not actually drunk anything properly since October last year. I'm not really,
Yeah, yeah.
I've not really touched it anymore, and I've realised how much of number one, from a calorie perspective, that's a thing,
Yes.
and then number two, from a sort of head perspective, when I'm in work, I'm not, I don't hate everyone, I don't hate everything, I don't hate, because I'm not down in the dumps because I've had a drink. I feel more resilient to stuff. I think a resilience perspective. I think if you've worked through sort of a process and you were out of shape and you got yourself in shape, it gives you that little bit of, well, if I can do that, then
Do it all.
getting this deal over the line, or this, if you've got a customer complaint or an issue or whatever it might be, you are more resilient to it because you feel better, you're in better shape. So yeah, from a standpoint, it's a really, really interesting point in this showroom. Obviously, we've got some really big bits and bobs.
Big bits.
The people who buy this stuff, the vast majority of them are in nick. They're in good shape, they look after themselves. And I think it's a discipline standpoint. I think if you've got that level of discipline, you then start to relay that to all bits of the rest of your life. So whether it's your business, whether it's your personal life, whatever it might be, you focus on stuff and it improves generally.
I say this all the time, and again, it's very obviously biased for me to say this, that like get in shape and all this will happen.
Yeah.
But I've got a track record of it happening time and time and time again, and it sounds like quite woo-woo in terms of like, get in shape and then the rest will fall into place. But literally, that is again, if I look at someone in the gym who's 45 and in shape, I know the type of attributes that person's got.
Correct.
Turns up every day. He's consistent. He's resilient. He's disciplined. He's probably got a good, setup at home. Got a good job probably. I just know by just looking at one person, and that's stereotyping. But I know the attributes that he's got. Whereas again, a lot of people might think about it, and I've been exactly the same. You've probably been exactly the same. No. Business first. I need to focus on this before I do anything with myself. But what we actually find is put work into yourself, and everything else will improve.
Yeah, it goes hand in hand. So Steve, my business partner, won't mind me saying, he's in his 50s, and he's in good shape. He knows that if he controls certain aspects of his life, then the rest of his professional life he can keep under control. And I think it does sort of go hand in hand. It's very rare that I'll have a client who is in control of what it is that they do and they are out of shape. It's just rare, and we do get the odd client who isn't in shape and has done very well and has he's driving Ferraris, Lamborghinis, whatever it might be. However, I'm now of the thought thinking, well, if they were also in shape, they'd probably be more resilient. They're more than likely going to live longer. So you sort of, I genuinely think it goes hand in hand.
1,000,000%. So obviously one of the big questions, I think I know the answer to this, that if someone's thinking about doing online coaching, what advice can you give to them based on where you was at the start?
Yeah, I mean, I put up a little bit of resistance when we were originally speaking. I was like, well,
You made me come here and
yeah,
sit down.
of course. I wanted to, I wanted to make sure. I mean, from the money, and I wanted to make sure that was right, and I wanted to make sure that it was gonna work for me. But
Yeah.
I think simply from the amount of people that I've referred to you, because it's a lot. I think I'm probably I've got to be the top salesperson for Tribe. I must be.
I think he's ambassador now.
I must be. But I mean, if you're thinking of doing it, and it's the same thing I say to people when I do recommend them. If you're thinking of doing it, it's the best thing that they'll do. That level of resistance tends to be that mindset of, I'll start my diet on Monday. It's the same sort of thing.
Same.
Rather than going, I met him, Luke's, he's just signed up. I mean, he races bikes, he runs a big business, and he's a busy guy. We had a good chat last week on the phone, and I was just going, look, Luke, it works. And I think people can see the results I've had, and they know that I'll follow stuff back to the letter, and I'll do the job right. And I just say the same thing. Look, if you follow what he tells you to do, if you stay accountable, if you keep your training right, if you keep your food right, that just happens. And I think the people that have joined that I've recommended have all had really good results because they've got that mindset. They've gone, well, this is what I want. This is the result I want. And this is what, if I get told what to do, then I'll do it. And then here we are. And I don't think there's anybody in your program that isn't getting the result because they're doing what they're told.
Literally that, but you're right. So that you become, again, this is another thing, you become the inspiration for people. So people look at you and go, why are you doing that? And you sort of asking questions and sort of debating things, and then you go, how did you do that?
Yeah.
Once you get to that certain point. So now you're getting that, wow, you look amazing. How did you do that?
Yeah.
And that's what it's due to the process that you do. Do you know what I mean? So that's why, again, from my point of view, I don't like Lewis Neal fitness. I don't even like Lewis Neal coaching. I'm now like call myself the fitness consultant because you don't have to go to the gym if you don't want to. I am there to consult on what you're currently doing. So Luke's a prime example. Very, very busy, time sensitive, races bikes. I'm not going to go and throw him on a leg day on a Friday when he's racing on a Sunday.
Yeah.
So it's consulting for him in terms of what he needs. You know, same for you. What do you need at what time, and what can we both move forward with? And I think again, there's a misconception of like, well, I'm not going to get a six pack in 6 weeks, or I'm not going to go ham for 12 weeks. What's the point? But actual fact, it's what can you do? What can I do? Let's piece that together and move forward.
Yeah.
And that's ultimately what my job is.
Yeah, there's a guy I saw on my social media like a couple of weeks ago, and he's right, I'm going on a diet, and he's taking photographs of this just dreadful food that he's eating. He's just eating leaves, and like and it's like you will get a very short term result. You'll probably get 5, 8 weeks, 10 weeks, however long you can put yourself through that torture of eating that stuff. Yeah, you'll get a result. You'll drop some pounds. You'll put it all back on again when you go back to your habits that you've had sort of before you started eating leaves for your dinner. And I think that one of the misconceptions sort of I had was from a dieting perspective is that I'd have to starve myself. My breakfast, sort of dinner and tea, and then snacks.
It's a lot.
It's a lot of food, and it's not horrible food.
Egg bites.
Egg bites, Starbucks egg bites. Yeah, I should be an ambassador. I should get them for free, 100%. But yeah, finding something that you enjoy eating and then staying consistent, and also banking. I mean, I never ever sort of in a month of Sundays thought I'd get to the point where I'm banking. So if it's a Saturday night and I'm going for a pizza, because I like a pizza, I'll dramatically reduce what it is my breakfast calorie intake is, and I'll dramatically reduce or even skip my lunch intake so that my 12, 13, 1500 calorie, 2,500 calorie, 3,000 calorie pizza, whatever it might be, is sort of paid for.
Yeah, exactly.
And I'm not going to get on the scales on Monday and go, oh, that's gone wrong because I've just smashed a massive pizza. But I think doing that and planning for, obviously you put as part of your check-ins, everything we need to plan for.
Exactly.
I think if you're busy and you're trying to have a bit of a life, then banking for stuff it's really, really handy. It's something that I sort of swear by now. It's cool.
Again, misconception of the industry, because the industry is a shit show.
Yeah.
You have to do this and you can't do that. Whereas we go, what do you value most? I value a glass of wine with my missus on a Friday. Fine. How can we fit that in and fit everything around that?
Yeah.
Same with you. If I like to go out on the weekend and have a pizza, how do we make that fit?
Yeah.
We like a cigar, like a steak. How do we make that fit? So obviously cigars have got no calories in.
Yeah. Some other benefits or minuses perhaps.
Yeah. But it's a great thing about people often think that you have to cut everything out and you have to go a certain way because fitness is deemed that way.
Yeah.
But it has changed the whole dynamic of the fitness industry because, that's why I'm hashtag anti-fitness industry. I'm more fitness consultancy.
Yeah, for sure.
So anything you want to round up with? Anything you want to say to anyone else?
Like I said, just from my perspective, when I get people who ask me and go, is it something that I should do? It's always a resounding, well, yeah, you should. If you've got if you can sort of get your head into that correct mindset of being straight, especially when you're logging your food. If you log in that if you're missing out the fact you've had a Mars bar, then
What's the point?
It ain't for you. But if you can sit there and you can hold yourself accountable and you can be happy with somebody else also holding you accountable and somebody going, we need to tighten up on this. If you can sort of surrender yourself to that process, it just works. I mean, I was 117 kilos. I walk around now at 91, 92, and I'll probably be sub 90 in the next sort of 30 to 40 days. And it's
When you go on holiday?
When I go on holiday. I sort of, it's like you can see the matrix, right? I know how it works now. I know what I've got to do, rather than I'm just not going to eat for 5 weeks, 6 weeks. That sort of, like you say, fitness industry sort of preaches that, and it's wrong.
I might call this the anti-fitness industry podcast or whatever.
Lewis Neal anti-fitness, I like it.
Yeah, that'll help. I'll get loads of people messaging me.
You certainly get a lot of interaction.
You can't do nothing, you haven't got biceps. That's why I wear the long sleeve top.
Exactly, I love it, same.
But nice one. And again, if you want to find Martin, where'd you find you?
VR EPS. If you're looking to buy a nice car, then I've got plenty of them.
He's got plenty of them.
So a little bit of everything. So if you're looking to level up your cars, come and see me. If you want your level up your fitness, come and see him.
Come see me, yeah.
Sorted.
Again, any questions, DM me, DM him if you want to get involved in one-to-one or our new group program. We've got that available too. So yeah, any questions, you know where to find us.
Perfect.
Thank you.
Thanks, man.